Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bushes on the Trail. I'm Al, and this time Christy and I are in Northeast Kentucky, outside the city of Ashland, and we're taking on the Iron Ore Trail, which is located at Armco Park. Now this is about a 4.5 mile trail throughout the park. It has a lot of winding ups and downs. It's more of a nature style trail, about 3 or 4 foot wide path, well groomed, really packed down, in great shape, well maintained. So this isn't your typical 18-inch wide, deep backwoods type trail with a lot of tricky terrain. Now these are pretty smooth up and downs. They will get your heart pumping, so it is a pretty good hike. 4.5 miles, decent length. I would call this a low on the moderate side, but there are going to be some parts where you do have some pretty good ups that will get your heart pumping. It's a great place to go get some exercise if you're in the Ashland area, and to be out in the woods just outside of the city. So it's a pretty good walk in the woods. I hope you stick around. Okay, here we go, another winter hike. We are at the Iron Ore Loop in Ashland, Kentucky. And we'll see how this goes. Never been on this trail before. Don't expect it to be too rough, but we will see. Starts off with a pretty decent uphill. You can see we started way back there and are heading uphill right now. Okay, now when you look at the All Trails app, we are doing this clockwise from the actual war memorial. So I think on All Trails it shows you going counterclockwise sometimes. So we're going the opposite way. We'll see what happens. It's like a service road, but we go this way for the loop to the left. And nice little view of Armco Park, panoramic view. A lot of squirrels out, about the only thing out on an 18-degree morning. Other than us two idiots out walking in the cold. Okay, about a half mile in. Belfont Furnace picnic area number 3, and we are continuing on up. Now there are a few restrooms along the way, which is good, and following the blaze up to the Iron Ore West Trailhead. Now this portion of the loop, all road walking through the park. It's going to be well over half a mile of road walking, a lot of uphill early. But so far, nice. Okay, about 0.6 miles, you come up to a do not enter sign on the road walk, the number 5 disc golf, and you head right towards the pavilion. But before you hit that tree stump, you'll see the Iron Ore Trail sign, and here we go, back into the woods. And the trail goes down there. And the historic Iron Ore hiking trail. little information on it. And there we go. Entering Squirrel Gap. A little over a mile in, and it has some ups and downs to it. Actually, the trail is really wide, probably 3 feet wide, well packed down, sort of like a nature walk type trail, but a little more, I can't say strenuous, but a little more difficult than just a plain flat nature walk. A lot of ups and downs early, nothing too bad. Still sort of an easy hike. I could see where in the springtime this would be really nice. You're sort of enclosed in all these trees with the dead trees, or excuse me, yeah, without the leaves. You can start to see houses and things off in the distance, so it's not as secluded. But we'll continue on. Should have another, I would assume, 3 miles or so of this trail. Okay, and about 1 3/10, almost 4/10 mile in, comes this junction. The trail goes down to the left and continues on around into the woods. And if you're out here for a nice little stroll, there are several of these little benches along the way. Some with birdhouses by them, where you can watch birds. Nice little view down a small gorge. This is called the Amanda Furnace Gorge. Nice little trail. Really, again, I can't get over. This is wide, it is smooth, very well maintained. Apparently, looks like there may have been some deer or something along this trail at some point. Now, the ground is frozen. There's some ice on it in spots. Obviously, when you're in the upper teens, low 20s. But, so those aren't necessarily fresh. But apparently there have been some deer out here. Okay, a little over 2.1 miles in. And I'm assuming we are at the low point of the trail in the valley, because now we have a pretty decent up to go. Okay, we just had a nice up on that one. Now, this portion, again, seems to be well kept. Yeah, breathing a little heavy on that one. That was one of the steeper ups of the trail. So pretty good so far.
Nice trail again. I think it'd be better in the summer or fall with some foliage on the trees. We've seen some wildlife, but only squirrels everywhere. But no deer or anything else. All right, so far this trail has been really well marked, easy to follow once you actually find the trailheads from the park. Those can be a little tricky if you're not paying attention, but they're pretty decent now. You'll see stuff like this sign that shows you how to get to the iron ore trail if you're coming the opposite way. We're going uphill right now as it comes off of this main road. So just make sure you're looking out for the signs. You should be in good shape. Okay, about 2.8 miles in or so, we have crested the top of a hill and are close to the highway, heading back towards the War Memorial. Historic Midland Trail Loop. Now that we're in sort of the sunnier portion of this trail, the ice is starting to melt and the descents and climbs are getting a little more slick. Believe it or not, the mud's starting to build up. You see here, where it was ice earlier, we could avoid it and the ground was pretty hard. Now the ground's starting to soften up and slide a little bit where it's a little wet from that melting ice. Okay, here we start the Midland Route 60 portion of the trail. You say brick pavement. This is good. It's been getting muddy the first, over 3.7 miles of this trail. Starting to get muddy now. The sun's coming out and we've got mud caked up on our shoes, so this will be nice. We're not sliding around as we go up and down hills. See a lot of these emergency access points. Wonder what kind of emergencies they have out here, because there's a lot of these access points. And I guess if you wanted to shorten the hike, you could take a couple of those. If you planned ahead, it could really shorten up your hike and make it just as long as you wanted. It's like the old Midland Trail goes that way, but the actual loop continues this way towards Shelter House 7. Roughly 4 miles in or so, coming up to the crest of a hill. Been a pretty good hike so far. A lot of ups and downs, and it'll get your heart pumping. Pretty good little training hike. We load down our packs a little bit and get those legs working. Okay, around the 4 mile mark, once you get to that shelter house, the trail continues on across the road and down this way. The historic Midland Trail Loop you'll see signs for. We are pushing over 4.25 miles so far now. I've done a little side excursions here and there from time to time, so it may not be quite that long, but we are getting close to the War Memorial. Blazer Crossing. And up over this hill is where we are parked. And there's see Christy walking to our car. There's Veterans Place 6, the tank at the War Memorial. And you can start the access to the trail there and go counterclockwise. But we decided to start with the road walk and not end with the road walk.
Located outside of Ashland, Kentucky, the Iron Ore Trail is a roughly 4.5-mile loop trail that weaves its way over hills and down through small gorges of Armco Park. Now, the trail opened in 2019 and is made up of 10 sections, and each section has its own little narrative providing some history of the area. The trail also includes part of the brick road from the original Route 60, which traveled from Ashland to Lexington, Kentucky. Now, if you're in Northeast Kentucky and are looking for a moderate to strenuous trail with rugged terrain that will challenge your hiking skills, then this is not the place for you. However, if you want to quickly escape from town and to step into nature for some moderate exercise that will occasionally get your heart pumping on a tremendously well-groomed path, then this trail could be the perfect place for a walk in the woods. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you don't mind, please, it doesn't cost anything. Give us that thumbs up. It helps people find the channel here on YouTube. Also, if you want to leave a comment below, tell us how you like the trail, if you've been on it or if you plan on going on it. We'd like to hear about your adventure and what you thought of the trail if you've been out there. Also, remember you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Bushes on the Trail. And finally, if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button below. That way you don't miss out on any of our other adventures, and we have some pretty cool things planned right here at Bushes on the Trail.